There, I'm James Gilmer, your User Services Librarian, here to introduce the library's webinar on locating eBooks in the collection.
So today's learning objectives are mainly three. The first one is locating eBooks through Pfeiffer Library's various collections and databases. The second one is narrowing down search results when searching for eBooks specifically, and locating eBook websites and eText resources online. So by the end of this session today, you should be able to do all three of these things pretty confidently, and if not, there are ways to get extra help. So to start off, eBooks are basically electronic versions of printed texts that are specifically designed to be read on an electronic platform or device. So they're meant to be read either on a computer, a phone, or a tablet, an iPad, or some sort of other electronic device. Now, some people may be asking, are they actually better than print books? In some ways they can be, but some advantages to eBooks are that they are more accessible in some ways because they're accessible anywhere, and they're more portable because you can store them on an electronic device. They're also not bulky because they're stored electronically. You don't have to carry a book around with you. The content is also shareable, so you can easily send it to another person because it's done electronically. An ebook might also have audio features, which can be very useful if you like listening to books rather than reading them. Those can also help disabled individuals as well. Ebooks can also be more immersive because of these extra features, and they can also cater to the visually impaired because electronic devices can cater to those with disabilities or those who are visually impaired. So depending on your own personal preferences, ebooks might be better for you than using print books. So where can you actually locate ebooks? There are several ways you can locate them through Pfeiffer Library's collections. There's first Dragon Quest, which is our online catalog that contains a lot of ebooks. Dragon Quest tends to prioritize displaying ebooks over print books when you do a search, so it's a lot easier to find those sometimes rather than looking for print items. You can also use the A to Z database list on our website, which is our entire list of databases and can be filtered to ebook databases only by using the drop-down menus or the search bar. Now, some of the options on our A to Z database list I have listed here, and I'm going to show you where those are on our list on our website. But the first one is the EBSCO ebook collection. We also have the Pfeiffer Library Catalog, which are books and ebooks owned by our university. There's also the Ohiolink Catalog, which includes ebooks owned by other Ohiolink institutions. And then there's also the Electronic Book Center, which is through Ohiolink, which contains scholarly and reference ebooks that cover several different topics. So I'm going to show you each one of these today, but there's other options you can also use. There are ebooks that are available online that you can also access for free. And then there's also eTexts, which are web resources that contain electronic textbooks. So I'm going to briefly cover those last, but I want to show you how you can locate ebooks through the library first, because that's going to be one of your more reliable sources. So first I'm going to show you the Pfeiffer Library collection, first starting with Dragon Quest. So if you're familiar with Dragon Quest already, this will be pretty easy for you to do. If not, I'm going to show you how to do a basic search so you can find ebooks. So basically what you do is after conducting a basic or an advanced search in Dragon Quest, you just want to go to the ebooks checkbox under the source type to limit results to ebooks only. And when you're doing this in the A to Z database list, you just want to select ebooks from the drop-down menu to see our ebook databases only. And some of the best bets for that would be the EBSCO ebook collection, Pfeiffer Library Catalog, Ohiolink Catalog, and the Electronic Book Center. And I'm going to demonstrate those as well. But I'm going to first show you how to locate them in Dragon Quest, show you where that ebooks checkbox is. So I'm just on our library homepage here, and you can see Dragon Quest is located in the center. I'm just going to do a basic search for something that we'll be able to find as an ebook, hopefully. So once you get to your search results, you're going to scroll down under the Refine Results tab, and you're going to go to Source Type. I'm going to click Show More, and then you're going to want to check off eBooks. You want to make sure you don't have books checked off because that means print. You want to just check eBooks off. And then what you can do is just scroll through your results. You're also welcome to use any of the other filters on here to narrow down your search results if you have too many. But what you can do is just scroll through the results, and if there is a link below the title, which usually is indicated by a PDF link or a full download link or online access or something similar to that wording, then it'll take you usually straight to the source and you can just read it from there. So in this case, this took me to the ebook, but you have to click on the section you want to view. So just a couple extra clicks and then it'll take you to where you need to be. And then the text is just located here, so you can just read it right off of the site. And I'll show you what a PDF link looks like. There's a book on some fairy tales here. I'll click on this link, take us to the PDF version. And this is what a PDF version of an ebook looks like. It's a little bit different than the one that I just showed you, but you can navigate through the table of contents and the chapters on the left side. So you can kind of scroll through different sections if there's a section you really want to look for, or if you don't need to read every single part. So that's how you can locate ebooks in Dragon Quest. Now on the A to Z database list, you just want to select ebooks to see the ebook databases from the drop-down menu at the top of the page. And so that's going to be located on our homepage. All you have to do is just click on databases down here to visit our list. And then you want to go to database type and select ebooks. And this is going to show you all of our ebook databases that you can search through. And any of the ones that have EBSCO underneath the alternative names and keywords, little subheading here, that means it's going to have the same search functions as Dragon Quest. So if you're very familiar with using Dragon Quest to do searches, you might end up benefiting from using one of these as well because they have the same search functions and you don't have to learn how to use a new database. So you can kind of see this database here. It looks very similar to how Dragon Quest looks. I'll just kind of do a search to show the similarities here. And you can just go to Show More again under Source Type. And if there's no ebook option, then that means you may have to just try and search for a different word, or there may not be any results for ebooks related to what you typed in. So you can either try a different search term or you can just try a new database. But when it comes to the A to Z list, your best bets are going to be these four. So I'm going to kind of walk you through how to use each one. So the EBSCO Host ebook collection contains scholarly, reference, and professional ebooks. And to do a basic search, you basically do what you would want to do for searching Dragon Quest. You just type in your search terms and then use the filters on the results page to narrow the results down. And you can sort the options as well by newest, oldest, by author, or by title. And the same thing goes with the advanced search, where you type in your search terms using the Boolean terms dropdown and then select from the search options to make your search more specific. Or if you want to use the filters on the search results page again to narrow down your results, instead of using the search options, you can do that as well. So I'm going to go find the EBSCO ebook collection and show you that first. So the EBSCO ebook collection is located on our list under ebooks, of course. So I'm going to click the link to take us here. So I'm going to go to advanced search just to show you the difference. So I type in my search terms and then just go to eBooks, check that off. And actually, since this is an ebook special database, you probably don't even need to check this off, because it looks like that's the only option, because it's an ebook database, so they're not going to have regular books in this database. So you don't even have to check that off if you don't want to, but you can. And then you would follow your searches kind of like you would in Dragon Quest by using the filters down here and then just clicking on the links to access them. So pretty much the same, just a different database than Dragon Quest. So besides the EBSCO ebook collection, there's a couple other ebook databases available that fall under EBSCO, like kind of I mentioned before, and I did demonstrate this earlier. But these, again, are going to have the same search functions as Dragon Quest, so you might want to check these out. There's the Bibliography of Native North Americas, which covers Native American history, culture, and life. There's Business Source Complete, which contains ebooks and other sources on business topics. And then there's also the MLA International Bibliography, which contains ebooks published in modern languages, literatures, folklore, and linguistics. So items in these databases are actually included when you do a Dragon Quest search, but it might be a little hard to find them just because Dragon Quest has so many items that they may just kind of fall in the midst of all your search results. So these can be a good thing to check out if you are specifically interested in one of these topics, because searching this is going to be a lot easier than trying to search Dragon Quest for the items that are in here. So when you are viewing a source, make sure that you're actually viewing an ebook, and because some ebook databases carry other types of sources as well. So just be mindful of that. So next I'm going to demonstrate how to search the Pfeiffer Library Catalog. And this is a catalog of books and ebooks that Tiffin University actually owns. And to search for ebooks, you just use the keyword search bar to conduct a search. Select ebook under material type, and then you can limit your search as needed. And that's optional. Depending on what you need, you may not need to use that. And then to view an ebook that's in your search results, you just click on the link below the item's information, and it usually is indicated by a link that says View Online. So I'm going to demonstrate how that looks. So again, the Pfeiffer Library Catalog is also located under the eBooks list. So I'm going to do a basic search here, and then if you want to go to material type and select ebook, because that's going to only look for ebooks related to what you're searching for. And then when you want to look at a specific source that you're interested in, just click on the View Online link and it'll take you straight to the source. It may ask you for your institution, which in this case you just want to select Tiffin. And then it'll take you to the source that you can read as a PDF in this case, and you can check the different chapters. So if you just want to read one chapter, you can, or if you want to read all of it, you can. And you can also download it as a PDF at the top here. So if you're trying to save sources for later, you can also just download it and keep it on your device for later use. So the next database I'm going to demonstrate to find ebooks is the Ohiolink Catalog. And to search for ebooks in this one, you want to click on the advanced search function and type in your search terms. Now, if you're not familiar with advanced searching, most advanced search functions on a database have what are called Boolean terms, which are words that include or exclude specific search terms, and they help you locate items a lot quicker and more easily. So if you probably have seen before, they are the ones that are located in between the different search boxes, and it's usually a drop-down menu that lets you choose between 3 Boolean terms. And the 3 options are and, or, and not. And what each of these do is distinguishes the second word that you're using. So if you have and selected between 2 words, it searches for sources with all the items you included in the search bar, so it's going to make your search a lot smaller. If you have or selected, it's going to search for items with at least one of your search terms or the other, so it'll make your search a lot bigger. And if you use not in between the words, it's going to exclude any search results with the second term that you type into the box. So once you use those, you can select electronic book from the other materials types drop-down menu, and then hit submit to view your search results. You can click on the link below the item's title to access the ebook, and it should take you straight there. And just that I'd mention, you can modify your search criteria at any time by clicking on the modify search icon at the top of the page. So I'm going to demonstrate how this works. So again, the Ohiolink Catalog is going to be located in our A to Z list under eBooks. You can see that that's still selected here. And so I'm going to click Advanced Search. I'm going to try to have 2 words here, so I'm going to do fairy tales for the first word, and then I will put Germany for the second term. So if let's just say we're looking for fairy tales in Germany only. If we want to have a Boolean term in between, you can see and is currently selected. That's usually the default. We're going to do, we'll keep and selected, and then I'll do or just to show you the difference. So we're going to go down to format here. So it looks like there is not an ebook option, so I'm going to click book here and see if it still gives us any electronic sources. And it kind of doesn't look like it does. So I'm going to go back here and uncheck that, and I might actually modify my search a little bit. There is an option to see only online sources, so that might be a good way to locate ebooks through the Ohiolink Catalog if you end up not finding anything that might be good. So in terms of accessing ebooks on this database, you want to make sure instead of clicking request it, which would be getting the print item, you want to make sure you're clicking on the links here that say connect to resource. So it's going to ask for your institution again, and then just make sure you have that selected there. Now, it may not ask you this all the time, but it is going to ask sometimes for your name and your barcode number. And this is just to verify your status as a student. That must not have been the right password. I thought it saved it. So if you are unsure what your barcode is, you can either find it in self-service. It should be under your user profile information. It's a 9-digit code followed by the letters TUP, and that's what you're going to use for the barcode. You don't need to put the dashes in it. You just have to put the 9 digits plus TUP at the end, and that should do it. If you can't find it in self-service, you can always email the library. Our email address is library@tiffin.edu. You can always email that to us and ask for your barcode, and we'll send it to your email. This is another example of what an ebook link looks like. So I'm just clicking on a chapter from this book, and so there it is. You can also download it if you like. Just depends on if you need it for later use or if you think you're going to use it later, or if you need it for an assignment. I'm going to reset my search. I'm going to leave that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back to advanced search here. I'm going to keep this here, but I'm going to change it to or instead, and we'll probably get more results that way. So electronic book is probably what you're going to want to check off if you're looking for ebooks. So in that way it shows you only electronic items. So you can either check off electronic book or you can check off online. Both will probably do about the same for you, but electronic book is probably what you want to use instead over online. So the next database I want to show you how to use is the Electronic Book Center, which is also through Ohiolink, but it is specifically for electronic books only, and it contains scholarly and reference ebooks covering the humanities, sciences, and social sciences. And to search that one, you have to use the basic or advanced search functions to conduct just a keyword search. You're also able to browse by subject, and different subjects include architecture, art, drama, education, history, law, etc., etc. So there are plenty of topics to choose from. And then you want to use the refine icon in the top right corner of the search page to filter your results. And some of the results that you can filter out, some of the categories or subjects to help narrow them down, are category, content type, contributor or author, publication year, language, publisher, place of publication, module, or license type. And then if you want to access any of these sources, just click the read icon or the download icon to access the ebook. So the Electronic Book Center is located under E. And I'm going to do a search first, and then I'll show you how the browsing works. So I'm going to scroll down here and see what kind of filters we can use. I'll go ahead and check off full text. I'm going to check off book. And then what you can do from here is you can keep using some of these filters to narrow things down, but all of these are ebooks because it's the Electronic Book Center. And so you can just click read and you'll be able to access any of the ones that are listed here. And it's kind of formatted as like a PDF in a way, and you can navigate through the pages by clicking on next chapter down here. You can also search the book for different words. You can also create bookmarks if you end up creating an account. And you can also view the table of contents and take shortcuts to get to each chapter that way. You can also type in the page you want to visit by typing into this little box here. So that's how to do a search, and if you're doing an advanced search, it's basically the same thing. You can just add more filters before you do the actual search. So if I just type in my search terms again, I can also change it to have a category selected. You kind of have to just pick the one that's closest to what you're looking for. You can also search for things in another language if you like. You might just have to see if it's an option. And then you can fill the rest of these out if you want to. And then just hit search. And then it takes you straight to the search results page that you were just at. And then you can look at your results from there. Now, if you want to just browse through the books that they have by topic, you can just click on any of the topics that you're interested in and just look at the results from there. So I clicked on games and activities, and it gives me all of the results related to that. Looks like not too many, but these are the results for that. And then just click read, and you're all set. Here's the ones for history, so there's a lot more for this topic. And you can obviously use the results to narrow them down a little bit, and hopefully you'll be able to find something that looks good. You can see there's all sorts of topics here. So even if you're in the STEM field, you might be able to find something, just because there's even STEM field ebooks in here too. So don't be turned off just because you think that they may not have anything that you're interested in. So that was a demonstration on how to locate ebooks through our main databases and collections in the library. But there are some internet sources that you could also check out that contain free ebooks. There's first Google Books, which contains full-text ebooks, and not all of them are free, but some number of them are, so it's always a good idea to check. So that's what Google Books looks like. There is also the Internet History Sourcebook project, which contains public domain and copy-permitted historical texts. Topics include Byzantine, Islamic, Jewish, Indian, East Asian, and African history, so this would be a great source for locating books on history. So you can kind of scroll through this and see if anything looks good depending on what you're looking for. And then there's also Project Gutenberg, which contains over 57,000 free ebooks that can be read online or downloaded for free, which you may have heard of this source before, which I actually have before, kind of using it myself, but this one is also good for finding things for class or for research, but also maybe even just for leisure if you enjoy reading. And you can do kind of a quick search up here if you need to search for something specific. There are also several resources online that contain free e-texts. There's Merlot 2, or Merlot 2, I'm actually not sure how to pronounce that. But they provide access to different learning and source support materials and content creation tools, and some of their items are free to use as well. There's also online mathematics textbooks, which has free ebooks for math subjects. There's OpenStax, which has ebooks on a variety of subjects. You can see they have math, science, social sciences, humanities, business, essentials, college success, and high school. So this might come in handy for ebooks in different subjects. There's the Open Textbook Library, which are open textbooks that are licensed by authors and publishers to be freely used and adapted. So these are free textbooks that you can use, so it's always a good idea to check those out for reliable information. And then lastly, there's Textbook Revolution. Looks like their site might be down, so you may have to try to use that site another time. But even if one of these doesn't work for you, for whatever reason, there are plenty of online sources to check, so I'm sure you'll be able to find something regardless of which one you end up using. So I have some tips to help you locate and use ebooks just in general. So for the best experience and for layout purposes, you may want to use a computer, a laptop, or an ebook reader, such as a Kindle, to read ebooks. Just because if you're using your phone, it can be really wonky with the formatting when you open the ebook file or the ebook link. So you want to make sure you use something that you're going to be able to read the actual print on. Because if you can't really read it or it's uncomfortable, you're not going to want to read it and you may miss important information. You also have to remember that an internet connection is required to access ebooks, so you want to make sure you do have an internet connection that is currently working in order to access them. Now, you can also download ebooks to your computer, and if you do that, you won't need an internet connection. But if you don't do that, you will have to have internet to access them. Now, some databases will allow you to download ebooks to your device so they can be easily accessed later offline. I highly recommend that if that's something that you think you're going to be using more than once. So that way you have the book saved in the event that the book disappears off of a database or you can't find it again. You should also use different keywords to find different ebooks related to a topic. This is especially useful if you're having trouble finding a book that's related to what you're searching for. Trying different synonyms and related words will usually give you different results, so it's a good idea to try that first before looking elsewhere. And then lastly, we recommend that you view our Locating eBooks research guide for extra assistance on locating ebooks. It outlines a lot of the things that I covered in this session today, so you want to make sure you check this out or have it in front of you if you need extra help on locating ebooks. So if you're looking for our eBooks research guide, just go to the Help tab, go to Research Guides, and it should be listed under Using Pfeiffer Library at the bottom. And again, it covers a lot of the content that I covered in this session, and it includes links to all of the databases that I covered and all of the online ebook sources that you also may want to use. So everything's there for you, so you don't have to go searching, and it makes it a lot easier if you're kind of struggling with finding some sources, especially ebooks. So just to kind of recap everything from today, you can locate ebooks a variety of ways. First being through Dragon Quest, of course, using the ebooks source type option. You can also use our A to Z database list with all of the different databases that I covered, including the Electronic Book Center, the EBSCO ebook collection, the Pfeiffer Library Catalog, and the Ohiolink Electronic Book Center. There are also web resources that are free that you can use, like Google Books, Internet History Sourcebooks Project, and Project Gutenberg. And then there's a lot of e-text sources available too, like Merlot 2, OpenStax, etc., the ones that I listed on the previous slide. So again, you may want to use our Locating eBooks guide for guidance on these, and it also includes links to these sources so you don't have to go searching for them.
Hello again, James Gilmer, User Services Librarian, here at the end of the webinar just to give you some resources for additional help should you have questions as you work on your research and other assignments. You can always email the library directly at library@tiffin.edu, and Luann or I will typically get back to you that day during the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday workday, or on our next business day for questions that fall outside of those hours. You can also contact me directly if you prefer at gilmerjm@tiffin.edu. I monitor both of those inboxes and get to questions as quickly as I can. For more generalized help, check out our other webinars, research guides, and tutorials that are linked in the description below and on the library's homepage, library.tiffin.edu. Thanks again for watching, and good luck with your research.